bored of Manchester City? Oh look, we've won the Premier League 6 out of the last 7 seasons. We're top of the league. We've got a Ballon d'Or winner. Every time we play Bournemouth, we beat them. Grow up. Look, we managed to squeak a point at Aston Villa at the weekend, and before that we beat Arsenal, so maybe we have got a chance. Welcome to the big match preview. This is a Back of the Net. We're an AFC Bournemouth fan channel. Tom's here. Tom, Can we?
Well, if you look at the league table, you look at the form between the two sides when we've played each other, you look at all that stuff, then I think we can.
Well, Cherries have taken 4 of their last 6 available. Most people thought we'd emerge with nothing. So with Iraola's boys on the crest of a wave, is this the time where we can get something? And look, it's our first home 3 p.m. Saturday fixture of the season. Now, at this point, we recap the last time we played them at home. It was February this year. And oh look, you beat us again. Well done.
Man City patient on the ball, working at Haaland who has a shot, saved by Neto, tapping. Oh my God! Oh, Cavalier! And he basically had an open goal. Fireworks on 69 minutes. Eddie Mitchell, mate.
Yeah.
And let's face it, it's nice little tribute. That's fine.
Oh, same old Tom. Phil Foden proving the difference.
Yeah.
Scoring in front of the North Stand. Early goal, I think it was on about 23, 24 minutes, I think. And Manchester City emerge with a win yet again.
We're getting closer.
We are getting closer.
We've done all right. We did do all right.
And look at the stats as well for that game as well. Look, 13 shots for Bournemouth, 15 for Man City, 4 on target for us, 6 for them. We are getting closer.
We are definitely getting closer. I mean, they are really, really difficult, but to play against, to operate against. But yeah, we are getting closer, and I think some of the teams, obviously it's not everyone, but some of the teams, as we'll come on to, that have played in this season, that you'd probably say, okay, they're around Bournemouth's kind of level or what you'd expect, are getting closer as well. So there's something in that, hopefully. You mentioned about the Ballon d'Or winner. He's out. Kevin De Bruyne is out.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to have many better chances. Could we?
Could we? Well, as we look at the league table right now, despite the fact that Liverpool is still plugging away and Arsenal are upping their game, 9 games in, they're top of the league. Here's how it looks. They're on 23 points. But Bournemouth, we're in a relatively good position. We are 11th in the table with 12 points. And of course, we know that Man City played last night and Spurs got the better of them. And you know what? Maybe this could be a season full of trophies for Spurs. Probably not, but it could be. And also last night, by the way, we found out what day we play West Ham on, because it depended on 2 other teams, both of whom played last night as well. So at least that is sorted. Now, Tom, I don't want to bring you down at this point, right? But we're doing quite well, of course, this season, aren't we? Played 9 games, got 12 points.
Yep.
We also got that amount of points on the season we got relegated.
Yeah, brilliant, Sam.
It's not going to happen, though, is it? This season. It's not.
We did also beat Southampton 3-1 as well in that season, didn't we? Bit of a concern. No, it's very, very different now, for sure. But yeah, and I'm hoping there won't be a worldwide pandemic, so that could help potentially. But yeah, no, listen, I think we're doing all right, and I think as well what people aren't appreciating is, we're in a good position. We've had some tough fixtures.
We have had some tough fixtures, and look, I know you put out a tweet in the week saying some people just bemoan their fixtures. Bournemouth just get points in them. Well, I'll tell you something. Wolves have had more difficult fixtures than us, just by a stretch. Look, this is the Opta fixture difficulty table where we've had the second hardest fixtures. So to be on 12 points at this stage, I think actually is really incredible. And maybe we could turn that Man City match into what? Yeah, it's a free hit, right? Usually we get a 0. even getting one from that would be absolutely
it'd be amazing.
huge.
So yeah, we're just it shows, to be fair, just looking at that briefly, it does show how well teams like Chelsea are actually doing pretty well. Probably a worry for Everton. They've apparently had the easiest, but I always take it with a pinch of salt in the sense that, so at the moment, and rightly so, Forest are kind of, everyone's going, and we've played Forest, they're one of the top teams, because they are this season, but then you wouldn't have expected them to be. So if you'd beaten them, then they wouldn't be, and there they are. So it's always a bit like that. But what we'll say is, obviously we've had the second hardest on that stat. Wolves have had the hardest, so I'm assuming like we're 12, they must be like, what, 13th, 14th Wolves, if they're just a little bit harder than us.
Not quite the same. Look, I did see on a Wolves channel actually a fan sort of bemoaning some of the fixtures that they've played, saying out of our games, 6 of them have been from the top 8 of the table.
And that's my point again. And you're
One
using,
of which includes Forest.
Yeah, and you're using that to someone like, sorry, Forest fans, but like they wouldn't expect, they're not top 8 team.
No.
So it'd be more relevant to say Man United, wouldn't it? Even though they're not in the, so, and I'm really glad that they've changed manager before we played them.
So annoying. But look, it's mightily impressive from Pep and his boys once again. Without Rodri, they've obviously got the cloud of these 115 charges hanging over their heads, yet they're still dominating. They are different class, right? Because some of us thought that it was going to be closer, and maybe it will be as the season transpires, but he's just doing it again. He is a mentality monster.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I think Arne Slot started really well, but I think losing Klopp from the league is probably made it easier for Pep. Although I think Liverpool are doing better than maybe some expected. I think Arsenal will push them. They should actually. Man City fans probably love us at the moment after our result against Arsenal, but you still look at it. We're only in the start of the season, really, but you still look at it and go, they're just going to do it again, aren't they? Like they do feel like that because even with some really key players out, they've just got so many bodies, and it's the way they play as well. The way they manipulate teams, and you feel like you're in with a chance. They always seem to get it done, mate. So yeah, still the best team in the league. You'd still fancy them to be one of the favourites for the Champions League. They're one of the favourites for every single competition, always, aren't they? And that's why they're the only team we can't seem to get a point on.
Yeah, so later in the show, we'll talk about what transfer business they did in the summer, what their fans predicted for us and them before a ball was kicked. And maybe there are some concerns amongst their fans, who knows, but we'll give our opinion on what we've thought of them so far based on their results, because they do seem less emphatic than what maybe they should be. Their last Premier League game is probably the best example of that. Now, Tom, we know what their playing style is like. They're incredible at playing it out from the back. Yep. But Bournemouth have had more shots following the high turnover than any other Premier League side this season in 20. However, Man City have faced a league low of 3 such shots this season. So translate that, they never get turned over. So we're gonna have to do something different in this game. I mean, we're not going to sacrifice our playing style. Maybe one of those will result in a shot, a goal, who knows, but this is going to take some effort for Bournemouth even to get a point against them, let's face it.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And Man City, as we mentioned, are definitely the best, but we've played both Arsenal and Liverpool, who are teams you wouldn't expect to get too many chances against. We lost to Liverpool comfortably, but we had a lot of chances, and obviously the Arsenal game we won, so that's got to fill us with a bit of confidence. I think it's literally one of them. We'll try and press them high, and it could end up, we could end up reaping the rewards, which we have a few times this season, or they'll be so good at manipulating the ball that they'll just beat our press, and then we're in some serious trouble. We'll have to wait and see what happens, mate. But probably there's no I wouldn't say confidence, but probably the first time I thought, could we? Against nearly every time I play Man City, I go, just let me have a few beers. But I'm actually thinking, could we?
It's sort of cranked up the optimism, hasn't it, those last 2 games, which is
4 points
which
out
is
of
a
them
good thing to see. And I think a lot of us still regard it as a free hit. So afterwards, I don't think it's going to be ultimate disappointment if we end up with 0. But we want to see a decent performance, and you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, last time we pushed them quite close. I remember we just saw that montage there, and whilst they took the lead, I think in the second half, Tavernier spurned a chance where he just needed to get on target. Yeah, Unal as well.
So we've fought. I think
close.
There's been a few times more recently that, because I mean, when we first started, we used to just get blown away.
Especially at their place, we
always do at their place, in fairness. But there's been a few times recently where we've at least made them have to earn it, and at the end, like the last 5 minutes, we've put them under a bit.
Yeah.
Which has been something, and just shows the quality that's what we've got to hang on to. But yeah, listen, when before the last home game against Arsenal, there were 2 teams unbeaten in the league. There's now only 1 because of Bournemouth. Should we make it 0?
Shall we? Now, before that, this competition from Football Prizes, we need to talk about it. You'll see it on our socials. It features some incredible pieces of Bournemouth memorabilia that no Cherries fan will want to miss. The main prize for this competition is a stunning 24-25 Bournemouth squad-signed home shirt, which can be won from just £3.95. There's also 15 instant win prizes available in this competition, including an Alex Scott signed home shirt and a Dango Ouattara signed third shirt as well. It ends on the 7th of November. As I say, just £3.95 a ticket. There's the link at the bottom of the screen. Go and get involved. As you can see, we are at the courtroom at the QP on a spooktacular Halloween day. And look at this beauty.
Oh.
Look at that. It's even backlit this time. Thanks to Mandy for this bad boy. Isn't it a beautiful thing? And we're going to try to get as many Halloween puns in. Sinistera ghosting in at the far post.
Yeah.
There's loads of things we can do, mate. But there is a party later on.
Yes, there is.
Today from 3 p.m. Children's Halloween party. Tom, I suppose you don't need to dress up to look scary. Just walk on in, don't you?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, no
Show your
problem
face.
at all. Do they, as kids, they can still have a...
No.
Why did I do that when I've got one in my hand as well? But no, it'd be good fun. So, get yourselves down.
Between 3 and 6 p.m. later on this afternoon, fancy dress. There's apple bobbing as well, slimy spiders, and much, much more. It's at the QP, plenty of parking available. Get a drink, bring your kids. There's lots of spooktacular, done that one. Any others, mate? Witching out, I just can't think of any.
I can't think of it.
Yeah, we'll get some in, I promise you. And of course, the QP is the home of Back of the Net previews, and we're filming in the courtroom, the fans room, and it's available for hire, for free, to anyone that subscribes to Back of the Net. So if it's like a wedding reception or something.
Yeah, any sort of kind of event, talk and things like that.
Yeah, wake or whatever.
Yeah, then use the
free to
room.
hire. Get
in touch with Joe or us, and we can make it happen. So just click the big fat subscribe button, and then you've got a chance for that as well.
Later on in the show, there's going to be a chance for you to win a meal for 4, and we're going to have to decide a way of deciding this, because the first Bournemouth goal might be a little bit dodgy. It might have to be first booking again.
Yeah, it could be first booking. Are you saying we've got more chance to get a booking than a cut-on? Yeah,
not necessarily saying that, but you never know.
We could do something like that, I suppose. Yeah, I'll have to have a little think on that one, mate.
Yeah, Chris took him and his family to the QP for the roast. There's a picture of them enjoying their nice Sunday roast, and it's a thumbs up from them. So get down here. It's a tenner. And look, you get £1 off if you're a season ticket holder as well. So you mentioned the fact that people can, subscribe. That's what they could. And why should they do that, Tom? Because there's content on the way, right?
Yeah. So click the bell as well, because then you'll find out exactly when it's out. But obviously we'll do the fan reaction after the game. It'll be absolute chaos after we've beaten Man City. Do the fan reactions. Get the vlog out back on Sunday. So that'll be good to watch. I'll do the player ratings. Obviously a Kofi exclusive, as you all know by now. And then on the Monday, we'll have to dive into it in the second look. Might get another freeway going. We had Hensman, didn't we, for the last one? Mate, he'll probably be up for it again, to be fair, every week. He seems to do the good ones, so if we win that. But loads of good stuff. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you hit the big fat bell.
Yeah, and there's a reason to be on the Kofi, because there's plenty of content on there, and you can get on it by going to afcbpodcast.com/coffee. Look, we really appreciate the one-offs that we get, but if you show your commitment monthly from as little as £3, we feed you a lot of extra content. You get on the Telegram group as well. We are often a first look. No bloopers in a while. No bloopers for a long time, actually. This has been a good thing from us. But get involved. We would love to be chatting to you on the group. So, before a ball was kicked, we did this with many a Premier League fan. We are supporters of clubs up and down the country as to where they think we'll finish and where they think they'll finish. It's LB is a Man City channel. Lewis is the main man from that, and this is what he said about us and them.
I put Bournemouth in the sort of Palace category of
that's quite a compliment to us, actually, in a way.
My thinking is I think you're too good to go down.
Yeah.
But everyone can have a bad season, right?
Yeah.
So I think you guys should be somewhere between sort of 15th and like 9th. I'll say 13th.
And as for Man City,
Yeah.
where are you finishing this season? Come on.
Well, I'm being told we're not signing anyone, which I know your fan base will probably go, oh, well, that's not a problem. But like, I do feel that you have to invest every year, right? If we don't sign anyone, I think Arsenal legit could win it. But I don't believe that we're not going to sign anyone. I think that's a little bit of like just fake news. I'm going to back my team to win it. I think Pep Guardiola is the best manager to ever live. I think he's the best manager of all time. So I'm going to go first place. Will we win the Champions League? I don't know, because Real Madrid have just signed Mbappe.
Yeah,
And
tough.
they've got Vinicius Jr. And they've got Jude Bellingham. And they've got Rodrigo. And they've got Valverde, Tchouaméni, Camavinga.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, but you're finishing first, right?
Huh?
Yeah, but you're finishing first.
In the Premier League? Yeah, I think we'll finish first. Hopefully.
So there he goes. He's very confident with Man City. And look, that was done in the midst of the transfer window. And their activity was fairly quiet for a while, Tom. Few players out the door, but then some coming in through the door as well.
Yeah, Savinho, who they managed to get back and get him in, he looks like a player, which I thought, oh God, they found another one. He looks very good. And they got Gundogan back,
Yeah,
didn't
they did, yeah.
Which was, I was always surprised when he went, to be honest. But yeah, that's obviously helped with the squad. And now we know with the injuries to Rodri and De Bruyne, it was a really smart one in the end. Yeah, they lost a few kind of players that you think they're good players, but they're not good enough for Man City. So Harvard Bellis went permanent to them lot because they got promoted. Tommy Doyle went to Wolves.
Yeah.
Liam Delap to Ipswich. They're all players that are good players, but they're not to Man City.
Did Delap score against us once? In
Yes,
the
for
Carabao
Man
Cup?
City, yeah.
Yeah.
In the Carabao Cup, you're right. Yeah, I think we only lost that one 2-1. Played quite well. Cancelo went permanently. Calvin Phillips obviously gone to Ipswich, but it's not working out for him there either. There's a weird one in him. The only one I was a little bit surprised about, but I kind of respect the fact that he wanted to play, was Julian Alvarez.
Yes,
I
of course,
liked
yeah.
him, but they got a lot of money
Yes,
to Atletico. But I don't know, every time I've seen him, I've thought, oh, he's a hell of a player. But maybe from his point of view, I don't know the ins and outs, but he's thinking, if I want to play up top, they got bloody Ireland. But yeah, they didn't need to do an awful lot. But as Albie said there, like you still got to do a little bit, and I think they were two smart moves just to keep the squad ticking over.
So we're going to check out their recent results then. We'll just take a look at the last lot. And they've only been squeaking Premier League games. By the way, the last time Man City lost away was 15 games ago. That was against Aston Villa, our recent opponents.
They lost to Aston Villa.
Yeah. Why?
We would never.
And also, they are unbeaten in all 28 of their games in the calendar year, winning 23, drawing 5. And another stat to throw at you before we look at the results, only Man City with 179, Spurs on 156. They only come above AFC Bournemouth for shots this season, Bournemouth on 140. We average 15.6 shots per game, the highest in a single top-flight campaign for AFC Bournemouth. But when I say they're only squeaking results, I'm probably talking just in the Premier League, because Champions League, when you're playing the likes of Slovan Bratislava,
tough place to go,
as happened towards the end of September, mate, then slightly different ball game. But let's have a look through some of these results in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, they
1-1 against Newcastle United.
1-1 against Newcastle. That's good teams draw 1-1 with Newcastle.
Yeah.
Newcastle, City still the better team, but Newcastle played really well that day, to be fair. Obviously they smashed Bratislava. And the Fulham one was interesting. Fulham kept themselves in the game. I think Fulham, I've mentioned this a few times, I quite like the look of them this season, so they gave them the game. So we might look at stuff like that, but I'll talk about it when I come on to my predicted team. Whether I think will change too much is another story, but teams that are going to that 5 against City kind of changing a few of their principles are actually giving them games. But still, City getting over the line, as they did against Wolves. It was last minute, bit of heartbreak for Wolves. But
John
City,
Stones won it.
Yeah, but City, they absolutely murdered them all game. It felt like it was going to come. It was just very late. Again, like you said, Champions League, smashed them up, Sparta Prague. The Southampton 1-0. We obviously saw it flash up, and I was like, 1-0 was really early.
It was.
And I thought, here we go. These lot are going to get pasting. But fair play to them. They kept themselves in it. But the thing with City is, and Pep, it's kind of like he thinks, okay, Southampton having a good day today. We're not quite on it, but we're 1-0 up. Just make sure they don't. It doesn't matter. We'll be fine. They don't have to, go and smash teams all the time. And so they still got over the line, mate. Looking pretty good. But it was really that Newcastle game, and then obviously they drew with Arsenal. which was weird, really, because Arsenal went down to 10 men and they didn't beat them. Imagine playing Arsenal, them go down to 10 men and not being able to beat them.
Yeah, I find that weird.
Embarrassing.
At home as well.
Weird.
Let's check out our head-to-head record against... I mean, it's not great.
Do we have to?
There is no W in sight.
What's that cheeky little D, though, in 1989?
Yeah, well, look, there was a 3-3 there, and that was an infamous match. But then the 0-0, I was there at the 0-0, Dean Court, the old Dean Court, in February 1999. And my God, that was the last time we got a single point against them. It's been all L's ever since in all our home games against Man City. Bournemouth have 1-0, drawn 1, lost 9 in all competitions, as you can see from what you've just seen. 1-0, drawn 2, lost 19. It is actually the most one side has faced another without ever winning in English Football League history. In the Premier League, their aggregate score is 45-7.
That's 7, though. Tell you what, 45-7. That's like... Is that that's not bad cricket, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a cricket score. And Bournemouth, by the way, have lost all 11 Premier League games against sides starting the day at the top of the table.
To be fair, the last time you were throwing all these at me against Arsenal.
Exactly. So
I tell you what, it's just giving me more hope.
And you know everything comes in threes. Well, let's hope it turns into fours, because only 3 times previously have Bournemouth won 3 in a row at Vitality Stadium. One of those was actually earlier this year, obviously at the end of last season. So can we make it 4? It would be quite nice if we could. Right, quick little play for both. Chuck some names at me, Tom.
I've got a few in my head.
Oh, have you? Go on then, give me some names.
I've got one goalkeeper, David James.
Yeah, brilliant.
I've got Nathan Ake.
Yeah.
Sylvain Distin.
Yeah.
On a technicality, I don't think they actually ever played a first-team football for them, but Unau.
Yes, correct.
And Morgan Rogers.
Yes! Superb from you.
And then I had another one. I remember I had another one. Who was my other one?
What about...
Oh, no.
I know you're going to say the one you were going to say.
He was our manager, Lee Bradbury.
What about a player that scored in a playoff for us at home against Huddersfield?
Playoff for us at home against Huddersfield. Donald McDermott.
Yeah,
did he? Oh, of course he did. Yeah, I forgot about that. I felt there was another older one that...
Yeah, there are...
the reason I know it was my dad always says it was his favourite player, Ian Bishop.
Ian Bishop.
Put some up.
And look, we'll chuck another couple there. Nick Fenton.
Yeah, I do know.
Is another one as well, and also Paul Molden. But those of an older generation, there are probably 3 or 4 more names. We would like you to put them in the comments. Don't name the ones we've already mentioned. I love it if you could complete the list for us in the comments. Right, in terms of Bournemouth injuries, it's so weird. We did this a couple of weeks ago. We didn't even have a screenshot to show. We had 0 injuries. Now we have got a few players that are not available at the moment.
Doubtful,
Alex Scott is one of them, mate, with a meniscus injury. Of course, being the GCSE biological king, you must have passed with flying colours at biology, did you? You must know exactly where that is on the body.
Leg, I guess. Somewhere.
Knee, I think.
Yeah, it's me. But yeah, real shame for Alex, but I think fair play, the club have gone, look, we decided to, operate, do surgery and stuff, and yeah, he'll be out for longer, but it should help him long term. So yeah, we're going to miss him, but obviously Tyler's back available, which helps. Sinny's a doubt, but Andoni did say he's hopeful that he could get him available. Same with Kepa, really, and Philip Billen, who bit of a mystery illness. So they're 3 that I think potentially could all be available. Whether any of them will start remains to be seen, but Scott will definitely be out. Theirs is a difficult one as well. Obviously, we saw in the Carabao Cup what players played and what didn't, but you always got to take that with a pinch of salt, because are they injured, are they being rested, are they rotating it? So it's difficult, but it does look like Kyle Walker, Jeremy Doku are gonna miss out by the looks of it. Obviously we mentioned earlier in the show Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. I think Oscar Bob is obviously still out as well, and yeah, they've got a few little niggles, a few little doubts, but yeah, I think some of them they're hopeful, and yeah, they've got the squad to deal with it. It'll just be whether they start some of them with a plan to take them off, or they did. So that's what I've tried to do with my predicted team, but it's quite difficult.
I think seeing Doku up against Adam Smith would give me it would be hard to watch.
We've seen it, and we saw it at our place, and Smithy pocketed him, by the way.
He did do.
You do this every time. I'm coming in. He's the most unsung player I've ever seen in my life, Adam Smith. Everyone does it, not just you. Everyone does it. They go, can't play Smith today, they got that quick win. And he always pockets them. He always pockets them. I'm telling you, it's fine. It's no problem. Smithy, absolutely fine.
Well, look, in terms of players to watch, I mean, AFC Bournemouth, of course, we have got a few of them. One of them might be Evan Nilsson, of course, who scored 2 for us this season so far, came on to really good effect. For them, they've got a few players that we could really mention.
Go for the old team, or?
I mean, one of which is Phil Foden, who I think has scored in each of his last 5 appearances against the Cherries, also with 3 assists.
Always turns up,
but with
yeah.
fans shudder at hearing certain names. Used to be Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, although not last time, of course.
Yeah.
And Phil Foden's probably another one that's right up there.
Just one of them players that I think we found difficult when we played them. He kind of picks up such clever little pockets, and I think we've tried to be quite disciplined and organised when we played City of late, but then he just floated so hard to stay with, because sometimes, I don't know, he's kind of playing up there with Haaland, and then Sabani's like, do I go with him? He's really difficult, really clever footballer. So, he's definitely one to watch, man.
Yeah, really good player. Look, Man City fans have probably been watching this so far saying, oh my God, this is refreshing. This is a fan channel that has barely mentioned the 115 charges until now. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen?
All I will say is, there was that season, you mentioned it very briefly, Liam Delap scored. They won the League Cup that year.
Yeah.
We got knocked out to them, so could we? Just give us it. Just give us the trophy then. We'll have that. I reckon we can claim that we were the League Cup winners somehow.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's just going to be a financial penalty or like relegation and stuff? I
just think there'll be fines, there'll be charges, then there'll be appeals, and it will go on and on and on and on. And I think we won't see anything serious for a while yet, in my opinion. But I'm not going to pretend to know all the ins and outs of it. But it's just kind of a bit boring. But because it just takes so long, I appreciate teams like your Forest and particularly Everton. It must be really painful to have deductions and see all these charges hanging over them. But I do also appreciate that if there's 115, they kind of want to get to the bottom of all of it, so it's going to take a long time. We'll see what happens, mate. I'd be shocked if they got relegated, but whatever you say, you can strip them the titles of that, they still lived it. Them fans still lived it. Yeah. You can't take the memories away.
We started off this show by saying we are bored of Manchester City, and obviously that's tongue-in-cheek from a Bournemouth perspective, because we never get a result. But do you think football is getting bored of Manchester City as well? Because I know how much the English supporters deride the Scottish League for being one-sided, but winning 6 out of the last 7, mate, Manchester City have been dominated for so long. Part of me, and no offence to Man City fans, I just want to see someone else win the league.
I think most neutrals would say the same. It's nothing against City at all. I mean, certainly when it started and they got the backing in and started competing at the top, I was definitely one that was like, get Man United off the perch, get some titles. And I remember the Aguero goal, like celebrating, like buzzing for them. But it's just from a neutral's point of view that we're not competing for the title, so you're just looking at it and going, it'd be nice to have and it's been quite refreshing actually. Arteta coming in at Arsenal and making a push like Klopp did, and having another team, because it was just for a while it was just Klopp. So it's nice to have a couple in there. Obviously, Liverpool's still hanging around. But it's...
And of course, Bournemouth will be making a late push.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, we're already taking points off the title. I mean, there's some Villa fans that said they were top.
Yeah.
But no, we like the Villa fans. We'll wind you up.
Yeah, nice.
But I think... I don't know, but it is an interesting point you make, because I think a lot of the time in Scotland's an easy one to say, but even the top leagues, we always go, but we got the best league because you don't know who's going to win it. I mean, we kind of do. Yeah, I'd like someone else to win it, but it's a compliment to say it's getting boring to them. Yeah. Because the only thing I can relate it to was when I was a kid and I was just bored of Man United. So, and they were winning everything. Yeah. So, it is a compliment to them. And the way they just run games and win stuff. So, it's not a bad thing to be boring.
And even before that, I know that Liverpool had their period of dominance. However, there was a time in the 80s where Liverpool and Everton were swapping league titles nearly every season. It was going to Liverpool, they go to Everton. So, this has been an extraordinary time in football.
How good Klopp was as a manager, what he did for Liverpool, how unbelievable that Liverpool team were. They won it once.
Yeah.
Like, City are just absolutely outrageous, really. Because it feels like in my head, them two were just like back. But they only won it once, that COVID season.
Yeah.
So,
and they were so close as well, many times.
Incredible side.
Yeah, credit to Pep Guardiola for that. Now, Matt's stats from Vitals, where he takes a look at the last 4. So these were 2 home games in the Premier League, Fulham and Southampton, and 2 away games, of course, Newcastle and Wolves. Which shouldn't have been a threatening set of fixtures for the champions. Man City gained 10 points from those, and of course unbeaten, but they were only ahead in XG in 2 of those games, which were against the teams in the bottom 2 positions. Does this give us a little bit of hope? Maybe. Look, we know that they're a threat from all over the pitch.
We're above Newcastle, by the way. Just
we are above Newcastle, so maybe. And look, as I said, threatening all over the pitch. They've had 5 different goal scorers in the last 4. Iraola with 2, Kovacic, and single goals from Doku, Stones and Haaland as well. 6 players with 1 assist each. Wherever the ball is, it doesn't matter. There is a threat. The average positions of the starting lineups, you can see them on screen now. If you're listening on the pod, why not go over to YouTube and have a look. In the last 3 games, the Man City players have been largely camped in the opposition half, trying to create chances, although maybe the Newcastle game, that's probably more relevant as it's away against a team with an attacking threat, and they were largely camped in the middle of the pitch. Mate, this is very different now, because there would be times under Eddie Howe where we would see the average positions after the game, maybe barring one player, perhaps their goalkeeper, they would invariably all be in the Cherries half. Now I feel as though, because we push so high, we're going to push the game up the pitch.
We'll try to.
I think it's going to be a really interesting battle, and it could be a classic. I'm surprised in a way this one's not on TV. I sense that if they could pick their TV games with like a week to spare, based on what we've done recently, they would probably be thinking, hello.
Yeah, I agree with that. I could appreciate it if you look at any previous results, probably thinking, well, that's an easy Man City win. Let's not bother with that one on telly. But yeah, as you say, recently we've shown that we can compete. But yeah, them average positions are quite scary. I mean, the Wolves one, the keeper's not even in his box. It's a bit of a worry. But like you say, we'll push high at the pitch. We won't drop deep. There's no point. It's not what we do. So yeah, it could really hurt us, and we could be in for a hiding. But weirdly, I liked the fact that when obviously it was away from home, but Iraola's kind of first experience of Man City in the Premier League against his Bournemouth side, we got pumped 6-1. And then the next time we played them, we lost 1-0 and we're really competitive. And you think, okay, so the little tweak he would have learned from it, he's got 2, he's only got small sample size, but he's got 2 really obvious differences that he can look at. So hopefully that'll help.
The following graph compares the summary stats of Man City and Cherries over the last 4 games. Man City have created more chances, although Bournemouth have had more big chances. Similarly, Man City have conceded fewer attempts, but more big chances. The goals scored slightly favour Man City, of course, although the goals conceded favour AFCB. There are the stats on screen. I know you don't want to know the referee, but this is a good one, mate. Michael Oliver.
How's he got the gig?
How's he got the gig? Well, it's Man City, isn't it?
Yeah, but he made an absolute howler, didn't he? So his punishment is he gets Man City Bournemouth. He's just unbelievable.
Probably looking more Bournemouth than Man City. He's been in charge of 2 of our games this season. Away against Forest, home against Southampton.
4 points.
Yeah.
Could we?
That's a 4-2 aggregate win there. Right, let's do Tom's teams. Come on then. And look, before we put the graphics on screen, there is an argument to say that Iraola could play 5 at the back. And either way, Tom, are these teams even relevant based on the fact that it doesn't matter?
Yeah, you keep telling us it doesn't matter.
We might as well do their,
who's going to end the game?
Ending 11.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It doesn't seem to matter too much, and he always throws a curveball in. But yeah, I'm going to stick with kind of the principle and then stick with the 4 and not say he's going to change. But I will make a little point in there that it wouldn't shock me like it would in another game if he, say, took out the number 10, which was Clive in the last game on net, and bring in Housen and just go for 5 and hope that Cook and Christie can do enough in the middle. That wouldn't shock me because I alluded to it earlier. Wolves took them to the end, Brentford took them to the end, Fulham took them to the end, and then they all went to a 5. So it's just a 4. I don't think he will, because I think also the points we've got in the last 2 and the way we've played, I think actually, if we were to lose to Man City playing our way, the points return we've had in them 3 games is more than anyone expected anyway. If we change and then get there, everyone will go, but we might have stood a chance. So I don't think he will, but I do think there's going to be, I am going to throw a little bit of a, why not? I'm going to throw a little bit of a road shout in this team.
Okay, go for it.
I'm going to stick with Trav. I just don't, I'm hoping Kepa's fine and available, but I think you've got to say to Travers now, I can't drop you after that game. So I'm going to stick with Travers.
Interesting, okay.
Always get the right back wrong, but I'm going to stick with Smithy. It's got to be Smithy for this one, I think. Zabani and Senesi with Kirkes at left back. I'm going to play Lewis Cook in his normal position, and I'm going to put him alongside Tyler Adams.
So do you think that could maybe combat the fact that he's going with a back four because they're both defensive?
Maybe. And don't worry, I'm not taking Christie out, but I'm going to put Christie just in front of them two. So I'm going to move,
box to box role.
Yeah, so I'm going to think it gives you a little bit more defensively, but also his energy, and he can press them centre backs as well.
So, I like this.
Yeah, just a little curveball. I'm going to go with Cook, Adams, and Christie. I'm going to stick with Semenyo off one side, and then we never know which side, so I'll just make your own minds up. I'm going to go with Dango. I was thinking, will Tav be left out of 2 games in a row? Maybe not. But then I was looking at it going, it's the type of game we're going to have a lot of the ball, and it's going to be in them transitions, quick bursts. Dango might suit Dango, and also if he is on that left-hand side, he's played left back, he might have to help Kirkes. So I'm going to go with Dango, and then I'm bringing back in the Brazilian Evan Nilsson.
My only concern about that front four is that you can only rely on goals from 50% of that. Now, I know that Christie did what he did against
50% of that.
Arsenal. Ouattara rarely scores unless it bounces off him. You've got Evan Nilsson and Semenyo, the only main goal threats. Like Christie is going to have to get up that pitch and score.
He scored this season.
He has, but
he scored the same amount as Clive, and one of them was from a spot. Scored the same amount as Tab. Don't worry about it.
All
mate.
right.
And we don't know. Adams can hit one. I tell you what, I've got a feeling. Little zab ahead.
I tell you
set
what.
Piece, because we are set piece kings.
On to Manchester City then. What are you going for?
So it's kind of a 4-1-4-1. You know what they're like. They interchange all the time. But Ederson will definitely start in goal. I'm going to go Rico Lewis at right full back. Obviously, we'll walk her out. I'm going to go Stones and Ake. Obviously, we know really well. I think Gvardiol, we haven't mentioned loads in this video. He's having a great season. So I think he'll stay. I'm going to go Kovacic as kind of that deepest midfield player. Silva will probably be off that right side. I'll go with Nunes on the left. And then Foden and Gundogan kind of as 2 10s. And then Erling Haaland up front. So it looks quite scary. I'm going to go with that. But yeah, let me know, City fans, if there's any one you think might change in there.
Based on what we said on our second look show, it was a comment that Neil Dawson actually made on Vitals that he echoed on our WhatsApp group. Is there an opportunity there that Semenyo and Ouattara might be on the opposite sides again in order to condense the play?
Potentially. What I would say is, if I say I've got the team right for both, I would say Gvardiol will be more of an attacking threat than Rico Lewis.
Yeah.
And I would say that Dango is better defensively than Semenyo.
Right.
So I would maybe say and I actually think sometimes he doesn't play Dango off that right because Smith's not always there. I think them two are better together. And if you're going to want Semenyo to be your one to get at him, surely it's on a young right back in Rico Lewis.
Yeah.
I think you might see, like I say, I reckon it will change in game anyway. But I think you might see Semenyo off the left and Dango off the right this time. I think he just likes to keep everyone guessing as well.
I'm really excited about this game because it's just what. I know, I know, but it's a no pressure fixture.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter what happens, does it?
No, I know what you mean. The results we've got.
This isn't how Cherries going to be judged at the end of the season, but on matches like this. So let's just enjoy it, see what we can do, and you know what? Enjoy the fact that it's a 3 p.m. kickoff because I tell you what, they are few and far between so far this season.
100%.
So, being at the QP, I think it'd be rude of us not to do a little cheeky competition. Sunday roast plus drink for 4 people. How's about those apples? All you need to do is do 2 things in the comments below. So, what are we going to do, Tom? Obviously, the scoreline.
Yeah, and I think first booking's a good
It's going to have to be first booking. So, the minute of the first booking plus the final score, please. We will go through the YouTube comments. We'll have a look at everyone. As I say, Chris got it bang on last time. That was on Twitter, I think he did it. And look, you could win a fantastic Sunday roast. But either way, head down there anyway. It's just £10. Pound off if you're a season ticket holder. Come down to the QP. Keep your eye on the Stop Exploiting Loyalty campaign, highlighting unacceptably high ticket prices across football, but also on the erosion of concession pricing at some clubs, particularly for seniors. They'll be at the QP around 1:30 with a banner. That's a little photo opportunity for you there. Plus, they're going to be in and around the ground as well. Check out over the weekend the Cherries Trust social accounts, as well as Talking Cherries, for more updates. Tom, what are you going for?
I've done it against Arsenal, I've done it against Villa, and it worked both times. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I said this last time. My head says they'll be too good, and they'll beat us like 3-1, something like that. My heart says, we can nick a 1-1, and always follow your heart. There you go, mate. Oh, here we go.
What did I do against Arsenal? I can't remember.
I think against Arsenal, I don't know what you did.
I think I said 2-1 loss. We
Yeah,
won
you said,
that game.
yeah, and then you said we're going to beat Villa. And we drew.
We drew that game.
What are you going for? What do you think? Because I do think, like I said in my head, I do think they'll be too good, but I do think we nick a goal. There we go. I'm ready.
2-1 Bournemouth. Genuine. I've got a really funny feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a real funny feeling that we might sneak something.
Yeah. Good.
Or 2-1 loss, whichever one works, yeah? Whichever one works for the team. That's what I did last time. And
To get too superstitious now, I don't know. I'm thinking, what did I do before Arsenal Villa? What did I do? I'm trying to remember to do everything at the same time. But
we started to get a bit superstitious here. So like Steve drove to Everton, didn't he?
Yeah.
In his car. So Steve, you're driving every single away game.
yeah, sorry, Steve.
We just keep holding.
Yeah.
We keep hold of all these superstitions until
I remember when
stops.
Ben Phillips, TikTok, accidentally got brown sauce in his bacon roll. He didn't like it, and then we beat Everton. I went, that's it. Brown sauce all
You're
the
getting
way.
brown sauce again. Happy Halloween to all of you. Remember the Children's Family Fun Day later on today at the QP from 3 p.m. Get down here. Loads of fun to be had. But until we see you at Dean Court, up those cherries.
So I hope we have lots of goals at the weekend. Goals. Get it going, mate.